Okay, so I just want to speak to this little clip that I saw by 50 Cent that's like, do women require mental maintenance? I don't think that women require mental maintenance. That's definitely not the way that I would say it, but I do think that women, like, if women want to make something of themselves in society, I think they should go to high school wherever they go, where, like, however you grow up, if you're poor, rich, whatever. I think if you honestly care about trying to be someone's partner, go study sociology, because like a lot of women, and this is beyond if you're pretty, ugly, whatever, I think a lot of you just don't understand the way society works. There are going to be poor people and there are going to be rich people. So we can go through these ebbs and flows of whatever, social media is telling you that's hot right now, whoever the rich people are. But I guarantee you, in society, there will always be people who have a lot more and there will be people who have a lot less. And there will be ebbs and flows, and sometimes they'll look like this and sometimes they'll look like that. Like, you won't ever have one image of one person to say, let me get plastic surgery to look like this person and then I'll have all the things. Like, that's never going to happen. But what will stay true is sort of this like ideology of like a system and this like ideological understanding of the way society works. And if you kind of understand that, I feel like as a woman, you'll be able to say, like, here's, given what I understand about the world, here is the way that I want to move. And it's very simple to get a sociology degree. It's only 4 years and it's not a STEM degree, okay? This is just basically like showing up every day to the lectures and like participating in the conversations and writing the papers. This is like bare minimum. If you're like a C student, get into any middle grade college and study sociology. That is the major that you want. What 50 Cent is saying is he wants women who have studied sociology. That's what he's saying in very small terms. He's saying, I want a loyal woman, okay, who's going to stick by me, but be able to stay in a room full of other wealthy men and not be tempted by them. Because the thing is, like, wealthy men love beautiful women, and then wealthy men, all of them collectively love beautiful women. And a lot of you have to remember, and I think Candace Owens did a very good job this week of describing, like, there's not this like multifaceted view of beauty. Like, we know what beautiful people look like. There are a lot of beautiful people, but I shouldn't say that. There's a lot of different types of beautiful people, but there's not very many of them. Like, I am beautiful. You can say what you want. You can be like, I don't like her type of beauty. Like, I prefer long hair. I prefer whiter skin, or whatever it is that you have to say. But what you can't argue is that, like, I'm not beautiful. Like, it's like on every single metric, unfortunate. And I see this because I don't live up to my potential. Like, I don't act like the other narcissistic, almost evil and villainous women who look like me and who get what they want and they charge a very high price for it, and they're not kind. I've never been kind, but I've been not kind generously. Like, I'm not kind to all people. Not just to like rich people and people I think I could get something to, but poor people have gotten the evil out of me just as well. Anyone can get the sort of like fair treatment of I don't fuck with you sort ofness that I distribute toward everyone equally. And I think that a lot of people don't understand that exists. Like, I've understood this from the day that I was born. Like I said, I was born and bred in a very indifferent way because I am black, but I'm not black. And so, I'm an American black, which basically means that I'm a biracial person at heart in terms of my like actual genetics, in terms of like African blood and Europeanness. I sit like smack dab in the middle, like 50-50. Like 50% of my genetic heritage is like European, 50% is like African. Like I said, smack dab in the middle. There's not like one or more that's like more or less. Like there are more people like Zendaya who look more European. There's people like Lupita Nyong'o who look more African. Like, say what you want, but I sit smack dab in the center. And especially when we're talking about like my lived experience, I grew up middle class, not kind of middle class, not lower middle class, like middle class. I sit in the middle on every fucking spectrum. So I see it from all sides. And I've decided to live my life as a middle ethnic and middle class person, and it is a very difficult space to live because at every day, at every decision, you're constantly looking back and forth. It's like, I'm curly, but I'm not 4C. I'm black, but I'm also honey in complexion or caramel. I'm like African, but I also have light eyes and very European features, a slim nose, a slim jawline, a slim figure. I also don't dress in like hyper flagrant colors, and I speak proper English, okay? I hold a job and hold very conservative principles. But I live in a liberal town. All of it is very complex. It's there's a lot of nuance there. You got to be able to read between lines. It's definitely not black and white. Like, I'm not very white. I'm also not very black. I sit smack dab in the middle on every issue. And I know many of you are not familiar with that. And I feel like it's just very important to continue to show up every day as that person. Like, I identify with Kelly Stamps. I support Kelly Stamps. But I am not Kelly Stamps. Like, Kelly Stamps is very much so black conservative, woman, heterosexual. I don't know. Like, she's basically Candace Owens with a YouTube channel. If you really think about it, pretty much. Like, she's like Candace. Like, if Candace Owens is here, Kelly Stamps is kind of like here, right? Like, and who else could you say? I don't know. Like, one of the liberal trans people is like all the way over here. And Beyonce is like here. Right? So it's like Candace Owens, Kelly Stamps, Beyonce. That trans actress is like over here. And like Lupita Nyong'o is even, I feel like she's actually more conservative than Kelly Stamps. It's like Candace Owens, Lupita Nyong'o, Kelly Stamps, the trans woman, and me, who's right in the middle of all of them. It's very difficult for some of you guys to understand. Kerry Washington. Kerry Washington, I do feel like as the days move forward, I'm seeing that she is floating right in my lane. Me and Kerry Washington are here. I do feel like Halle Berry is floating kind of right here. She's a bit more liberal. A bit more Holly weird. I couldn't tell you about Zendaya's politics, but I will say aesthetically, she's appearing more European. Maybe Zendaya's a little bit more here. Like, if I'm here, I feel like Zendaya might be floating here. I still feel like Kelly Stamps is a bit more conservative. The darker the hue, the more conservative you must be. Yeah. I feel like that is, maybe important to just say, to make some class distinctions in terms of race. I'm also extremely excited to watch Kanye West's interview tonight on the Lex Friedman podcast. That is bound to be full of gems, and I'm so ready for it. I'm excited.